What I like about the eastern suburbs is it's not only a beautiful place to live and close to the city, but there are a lot of interesting people that live here. And we've introduced you to some before, and we're going to introduce you to a lot more in the future. But today, I'm going to introduce you to our first eastern suburbs author, Amanda Cole. So Amanda, thank you for coming in to talk to me about your first book.
My pleasure, it's very exciting.
I Hate Cinderella. That's an unusual title.
Yes, it's a bit catchy.
So where does that come from?
One of my girlfriends actually helped me out with the title. She was trying to encapsulate what it was, the whole storyline that I was going for, and it was kind of forget the fairy tale, make your own, and we were thinking fairy tales, and then she came up with Cinderella, and we were playing on what you would do with Cinderella, you know, go home at midnight. No one actually does go home at midnight. And she came up with I Hate Cinderella, and it kind of just stuck, and it was...
So did you actually write the book before you had a title?
Correct, yes. The title came about a month after we'd finished editing, almost, kind of.
And of course, choosing Cinderella, that sort of, at least you're plugging into something that people know, so there's...
That's right, it wasn't too far out of the norm.
Well, that was one of the things that struck me about you first. I must say, we've had quite a few people contact us to do interviews and to promote their book and so on.
Yep.
But one of the things I have to say about you is that from the very beginning, the marketing was actually quite spot on. So tell me, where did you get your marketing training?
Well, I'm a trained psychologist, so no official marketing background, but I work in marketing as well. But I kind of thought, if I was to get a book or a package or a launch pack or something, what would I want? So it was very much driven by my consumer research. So I would want an eye mask, I would want stickers, I would want a cute box to put it all in and a tote bag, just kind of the way I would pitch it at me. So
that was good. And I mean, even when the book arrived, I got the it had a very nice little card. I Hate Cinderella, yeah, that was good. And your business card, of course. And then the fact that I was continually contacted, I won't use the word hassled, by your PR consultant.
Yes.
So, you know, here's a young author, first-time writer, has a PR consultant, the marketing's spot on. Yep, that intrigued me. So I was quite curious to meet you.
Well, we were trying to cover a lot of aspects. I mean, Pursuit Communications has been amazing in terms of contacting other people outside of where I had already achieved marketing. So we had got like magazine coverage in Clio, as well as MX had picked it up, a couple of online articles, and generating this interest. And then it kind of fed on to, well, where else can you go? I mean, heartbreak isn't just isolated to Australians. It isn't just Sydney-siders even, like it's not just eastern suburbs. Let's kind of share the message, and that's what I Hate Cinderella is about.
So where have you found the sales are coming from up until now?
I Hate Cinderella has gone worldwide, excitingly enough. It's available online, which has proved to be an amazing tool. Girls from all over the world have kind of got in contact either by Facebook or Twitter, and then gone online, bought a copy of the book. So it's in Dubai, England, America, Canada, Ireland, France, New Zealand, Bali, Japan, even a couple of copies over there. And Denmark. I've had an amazing result in Denmark, strangely enough. A lot of people just calling and emailing once they've had a chance to read it, just saying that.
And how are these people finding out about the book?
Strangely enough, I'm not too sure. I always ask them, and 50% kind of come back and say, oh, you know, a friend of a friend told me. But other people say, oh, I just was looking and I found it in Clio, or just a lot of online kind of papers that they'd seen.
Okay.
Just getting it passed around, I think, from friend to friend once heartbreak happens. So,
right.
Bit of an underground book.
Well, that's good. So you've got the marketing down pat, and I know you've got future plans, which I'll come to in a moment, but let's go back to the book then. So, I Hate Cinderella. Now, obviously, you sent me a copy of the book, and I read it, and I had my views about it. I wanted to find out what younger people thought about it, and also get some idea of the target market. So I gave it to my daughters. I've got 3 daughters, so I gave a copy to them, and they read it.
Yep.
In fact, I had difficulty finding it because it kept getting passed around, and I had to let them know that I needed it back for today. So here it is. I got my book back. But who were you thinking about when you wrote the book? Who were you writing for?
I was writing for anyone that had been through a heartache, so not specifically females, but it is skewed in the marketing towards females, and with a lot of women skewed promotional stuff. Men also do pick it up on the sly and don't really kind of make a big deal about it, but it was written for Dolly to Cosmo, kind of anyone that had been old enough to be in a relationship.
So basically from about 12 years to what, early 30s?
40s.
40s.
I had a 6-year-old woman read it, and she had just gone through a divorce, and it kind of helped settle her back into her focus, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, as opposed to feeling the loss of her relationship. So I think it's anyone who's mature enough to have been through something big.
Now, some of the great children's books were actually written for adults and have been popular with children.
Yep.
And some of them were written for children and are popular with adults.
Yes.
Your book is a fantasy?
Fantasy, yes. I don't know any mermaids in real life, so I think it does cross into fantasy.
So it asks the reader to believe that here's a girl flying at 30,000 feet, there's some kind of terrorist action, and the plane crashes into the sea, and she survives and then meets a mermaid. I had some difficulty coming to grips with that at first. What reaction have you had to that aspect of the book?
Well, a lot of people actually said that, like The Time Traveller's Wife, which is one of my favourite books, once you accept that basic premise that there's a mermaid, because there isn't any, but once you accept that, your brain kind of just allows you to go with the adventure, to go with that journey, and to try not to go, oh, what's she eating down there? Like, she's eating cranberries. Just, you know, you don't have to worry about the facts and the details. Just
I kept wondering, how is she breathing?
Enjoying it. You know? Well, I mean, all of that's kind of taken into account. There's like a potion, but I'm not going to tell you what's in the potion, because like, you just need to accept that it's fantasy, and once you kind of get over that. But I've had a couple of people come back at the end, very sensible people, that have said maybe that was just a dream sequence, the whole mermaid bit, which is fine if that's how they want to perceive it. I mean, there's no school of thought on what I meant it to be. It's just a journey.
Yeah. So. All right.